हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाखया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपकदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरोन् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्ण चैतन्य देवं श्री राधा कृष्ण पदान् सहगण ललिता श्री विशाखान्वितंश्च। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत श्री राधा कांत नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी श्री राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुस्तुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छा कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नम ओं विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिते नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधार श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। गुरवे गौरचंद्राय राधिकाय तदालये कृष्णाय कृष्ण भक्ताय तद्भक्ताय नमो नमः। हरे कृष्ण। Thank you, dear devotees, for very kindly joining. This is a very nice verse that we chant normally during Mangalacharan. Gurave Gaura Chandraya Radhikaya Tadalaya Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tad Bhaktaya Namo Namaha. Where we are glorifying Sri Guru, then we are glorifying Gaura Chandra, that is Gauranga Mahaprabhu. Then we are glorifying Srimati Radharani. Then we are glorifying the associates or the servants of Srimati Radharani. Krishnaya. Then we are glorifying Krishna. Krishna Bhaktaya, we are glorifying the devotees of Krishna, Tad Bhaktaya, the devotees of the Lord, Tad Bhaktaya Namo Namaha. So glorifying the devotees of the devotees of the devotees. Krishna actually says that those who say they are my devotees are not my devotees, but those who say they are the devotees of my devotees, they are my devotees. So we see Krishna likes this mood of Gopi Bhartur Padakamalayur Das Das Anudas, serving in the mood the servant of the servant of the servant. Likewise, this verse is also very prominent that Srila Prabodhananda Saraswati writes, Anandalila Vigrahaya Hemavadivya Chavisundaraya Tasmai Mahaprema Rasapradaya Chaitanya Chandraya Namo Namaste. Ananda Leelamaya Vigrahaya, who is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? यदि आनंद स्वरूप के मूर्ति बनाने जाए तो वो चैतन्य महाप्रभु है। इफ यू हैव टू मेक अ डेटी ऑफ हैप्पीनेस, वी आर ऑल लुकिंग फॉर हैप्पीनेस, राइट? देयर इज नो नो वन लुकिंग फॉर सॉरो। ऐसा कोई विरला ही होगा जो भगवान के पास जाके बोले कि प्रभु बहुत दिन से सुख मिल गया, अभी थोड़ा दुख भी दे दीजिए। नो वन प्रेज फॉर दैट, वी ऑल प्रे फॉर हैप्पीनेस। हर क्षण, हर समय, हर हर जगह, हर कार्य में हम बस सुख की अभिलाषा रखते हैं, है ना? किसी को दुख नहीं चाहिए, वो चाहे छोटा बच्चा हो, वृद्ध हो, पुरुष हो, स्त्री हो, इंसान हो, पशु हो, केवल सुख की अभिलाषा रखते हैं हम। तो प्रबोधानंद सरस्वती बोलते हैं, यदि सुख की अभिलाषा रखते हो तो यहाँ वहां क्यों भाग रहे हो? Why are you running here and there? Why don't you go to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? Why? Because he is the deity form of happiness. आनंद लीलामय विग्रहाय हेमाव दिव्य छवि सुंदराय। एंड व्हाट इज द कॉम्प्लेक्शन ऑफ दिस deity? यदि रूप देखा जाए, सौंदर्य देखा जाए इस मूर्ति का, तो ये सोने के समान है। चैतन्य महाप्रभु इज लाइक गोल्ड, चलता फिरता गोल्ड। इज लाइक टॉकिंग वॉकिंग गोल्ड। द कॉम्प्लेक्शन इज दैट ऑफ गोल्ड। तस्मै महाप्रेम रस प्रदाय। And why is he coming down to this world? To distribute Mahaprem. distribute transcendental love of Godhead. प्रेम रस निर्यास कोरिते आस्वादन राग मार्ग भक्ति लोके कोरिते प्रचारन रसिक शेखर कृष्ण परम करुणा ए दुई हेतु होइते इच्छार उद्गम ए दुई हेतु होइते इच्छार उद्गम these two desires popped in the heart of the supreme lord. What are the two desires? प्रेम रस निर्यास कोरिते आस्वादन. भगवान प्रेम रस को चखना चाहते थे. प्रेम रस जो एक आम के फल के समान है, एकदम मीठा है, भगवान इसे चखना चाहते थे. और साथ ही साथ आफ्टर हैविंग टेस्टेड दैट फ्रूट, रागमार्ग भक्ति लोके कोरीते प्रचारन. He wanted to do prachar, but preach what? Not preach Vaidhi marg, rag marg bhakti loke. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is coming down not to preach any, not just preaching any path, preaching love unto the Supreme Lord, but that also not Vaidhi, it is rag marg bhakti. So this is Mahaprabhu's mode. Tasmai Mahaprema Rasat Pradaya is coming down to give this Mahaprem to that personality who is the embodiment of happiness, who's a deity form of happiness, who's golden in complexion, and is coming down to give Mahaprem, Krishna Prem, Radha Prem to such a personality. चैतन्य चंद्राय नमो नमस्ते. ऐसे व्यक्ति के चरण कमलों में नतमस्तक होता हूँ बारंबार, जिनका नाम है श्री चैतन्य महाप्रभु. श्री चैतन्य महाप्रभु की जय. Similarly, oftentimes we chant this Mangalacharan also for Nityananda Prabhu. Nityanandam aham naumi sarvananda karam param harinama pradam devam avadhuta shiromani. What does this mean? Nityanandam aham naumi sarvananda karam param. That I am offering my obeisances to that Nityananda Prabhu. But who is this Nityananda Prabhu and why has he come down? Harinama pradam devam. He is coming down to give Shri Harinam Prabhu. And we say primarily it is Nityananda Prabhu who gave Harinam in every marketplace. In the famous song Nadiya Godrume Nityananda Mahajan, we see the translation very beautifully says he established the marketplace. He opened the marketplace of the holy name by loudly chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra in every town and village, in every house. Ghare ghare phole prem ami araban. He would go and knock every door and he would make them chant. Of course, along with Haridas Thakur. So Nityananda Prabhu is coming down to give this transcendental mantra that can rekindle the lost relationship with the Supreme Lord. It can rekindle our sambandha with the Supreme Lord. So Nityananda Maham Naumi Sarvananda Karam Param Harinama Pradam Devam. But who is he? Avadhuta Shiromani. Of all the Avaduts, he Shiromani. Yesterday we spoke about Shiromani. Shiromani means topmost. So Mahaprabhu is Yatinam Shiromani. He is the crest jewel of all the sannyasis, and Nityananda Prabhu Avadhuta Shiromani. He is the crest jewel of all Avaduts. Avadut primarily means someone who is very transcendently eccentric, very difficult for the modern day to understand, very out of the box, very unconventional. ऐसे कार्य कभी कभी कर लेते हैं जो आम लोग समझ नहीं पाते. और नित्यानंद प्रभु के ऐसे कई कार्य हैं. वंशीदास बाबा जी महाराज जी एक और अवधूत थे, जो सरस्वती ठाकुर के टाइम में थे और बहुत वरिष्ठ भक्त थे. So he is also considered Avadut. Oftentimes, Sripad Aindra Prabhu is also considered Avadut because the activities that he did was very difficult for people to even understand. So those who do activities that are very difficult to understand in the line of the Shastra, and have their sadhana very impeccable. Not that we do any activity that people cannot understand and we become Avadut. No, ये अर्थ नहीं है. Keeping Shastra as the preeminent center and doing activities or having our sadhana so top notch. There are multiple considerations for an avadut. Having one's relation with the Lord established in the heart. When all of these blocks align together, then that person is considered avadut. So Nityananda Prabhu, very classic in Chaitanya Bhagavad, Chaitanya Caritāmṛta is considered avadut. And here in this verse is called Avadhuta Shiromani. So these are two verses that we can chant. Three verses in fact. Gaurave Gaurachandraya, that verse. Ananda Lilamaya Vigrahaya, that verse, and Nityananda Maham Naumi Sarvananda Karam, three verses. Three verses that we can chant, one for Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, one for Nityananda Prabhu, and one for everyone. It has Guru, it has Gauranga, it has Krishna, it has Radharani, it has Radharani's servant, it has Krishna's servants, and Krishna's servants. It has everyone. In fact, Sripad Mukundatta Prabhu had told me that ideally, if that can be chanted even before uh, chanting our Hare Krishna Mahamantra on the beach, before every round, if that can be chanted, it is very beneficial because we are offering our obeisances to so many personalities before every round. So that is something that if we are inspired, we can do. So let us continue our reading. Yesterday we were talking about Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya and Gopinath Acharya and connection and discussion in regards to that. The next morning, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya visited Jagannath's temple. Sarvabhauma offered Lord Chaitanya a seat and he sat on the floor. Then he began to instruct the Lord with affection. Hearing Vedanta is sannyasi's main business. So Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya is telling this to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So you should study Vedanta from a superior person. So who's that superior person? He. That's his conclusion in front of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He's wanting to say, आपको पढ़ना चाहिए वेदांत और वेदांत आपको एक वरिष्ठ भक्त से पढ़ना चाहिए लेकिन यहाँ वरिष्ठ भक्त कौन है? Now he's not saying it directly, but that's what he is referring to. The Lord humbly replied, "You are merciful to me. It is my duty to obey your order." After speaking continually for 7 days, on the eighth day, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya asked him, "You have simply been listening but are silent. I cannot know whether you are actually understanding." 7 दिन के लिए भगवान कुछ भी नहीं बोलते, केवल बैठे रहते हैं, केवल श्रवण करते हैं. बोलो जितना बोलना है बोलो. After one point, when you will stop, then I will speak. So after 7 days, here we see Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya is asking, "You have not spoken anything. Are you understanding or is it going over the head?" Lord Chaitanya said, "I am a fool, so I do not study the Vedanta Sutra. I am hearing because of your order. Only for the only for the sake of duties of sannyas do I listen. The Vedanta Sutra or Vyasa Sutra is a summary of all Upanishads. It's direct, which means mukhya meanings are clear like the sun. But your indirect gauna meanings are and imaginative explanations covered the real meaning like a cloud." At one place, it is explained Chaitanya Charitamrita, it says, "Whatever I have to understand, I have understood. But what you are trying to make me understand, that I am not able to understand." Mahaprabhu tells him. The Vedic statements are the Vedic statements are self-evident, swatah pramana, and must be accepted without interpretation. The Vedas and the Puranas explain that the supreme absolute truth is a person. God is a person. When Srila Prabhupada was departing this world in the last days, Srila Prabhupada had actually, when he was spending time with Sripad Bhakti Swarup Damodar Maharaj, you see, that time Swarup Damodar Brahmachari, Bhakti Charu Maharaj, Srila Tamal Krishna Goswami Maharaj, they were pretty much serving Srila Prabhupada during the last days in different shifts. So Sripad Bhakti Swarup Damodar Maharaj, when he was serving Prabhupada in the last days, one of the last instruction that Prabhupada had given him, because at that time, 1977, there was a conference going on, but October of 1977 in Vrindavan. But Prabhupada couldn't attend because of his health. But every day, Prabhupada would ask Swarup Damodar Brahmachari, "What is the status? What happened? What did the scientists say? What did you say?" Prabhupada was very keen to know what was happening. So in that instance, Srila Prabhupada had told Swarup Damodar Brahmachari, back then he was Swarup Damodar Brahmachari, that why don't you prove it to the world through your science, through your DNA and RNA and molecules, through your scientific analysis. Please prove it to the world that God is not fictitious. He's not just light, like the Mayavadis are saying. God is not light. God is actually a person. He has a form. He lives in Vrindavan Dham. He has a complexion. He plays the flute. He has his parents as Nanda and Yashoda. He wears Pitambar. He stands Tribhang Lalit as Shamasundar. Prove it to the world through your signs that God is actually a person. And Sripad Bhakti Swarup Damodar Maharaj took that as one of the last instructions of Srila Prabhupada. And before Sripad Bhakti Swarup Damodar Maharaj left this world in 2006, Vijayadashami, one of the very last books that he came up with was God is a person. The same instruction that Prabhupada gave him back in 1977. So 87, 97, 2007, almost 30 years later, Sripad Bhakti Swarup Damodar Maharaj remembered that instruction of Prabhupada. And this was Prabhupada's last instruction. And also this was Sripad Bhakti Swarup Damodar Maharaj's pretty much last book that he came up with, fulfilling that instruction of Prabhupada that he had given in 1977 conference time. Prove it to the world that God is a person. So even now we see here the book is available online and in Bhaktivedanta Institute and so many temples also. It says God is a person. God is not fictitious. God does not dislike. God is actually a person. So you hear Mahaprabhu, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu saying the same thing. The Vedas and the Puranas explain that supreme absolute truth is a person. The personality of Godhead, Bhagavan, full of opulences, Sarvaishwarya, Paripurna. But you are trying to explain him as impersonal and formless, Nirakara. Wherever there is an impersonal Nirvishesha description in the Vedas, it is meant to be established that everything belonging to the Lord is transcendental, aprakrita, and free of mundane prakrita characteristics. Everything in the cosmos emanates from, remains in, and after annihilation again enters him. When the Lord wished to become many, he glanced over the material energy. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu actually, this point is made in this section because not just this section, we will see later, he will speak to Prakashananda Saraswati also. And Prakashananda Saraswati will also be a Mayavad. The difference is here only Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, one person, Mahaprabhu speaking to. There, Mahaprabhu will convert Prakashananda Saraswati and 60,000 disciples. 60,000 disciples. Now, normally, only in the Shastra we hear that Prakashananda Saraswati had 60,000 disciples, Durvasa Muni had 60,000 disciples. Up until this time, only in the Shastra we would hear कि एक गुरु के 60,000 शिष्य. But now in ISKCON, that has also become reality. Srila Jayapataka Swami Maharaj has almost 60,000 disciples. So up until this time, we were saying कि एक जमाने में हुआ करता था, लेकिन अब तो साक्षात हो गया है. Srila Prabhupada had told him to initiate 50,000. That was Prabhupada's instruction. But he has gone even more than that, fulfilling much more than what Sri Guru requires out of disciples. So now the number is almost 60,000 from what I hear. And I think it will only scale from now. It's not going to stop. So all glory to Srila Jayapataka Swami Maharaj, who is initiating and not just initiating, but not like Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. Here, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya and Prakashananda Saraswati have Mayavad disciples. But Srila Jayapataka Swami Maharaj has disciples who are not in the mood of Mayavad, but servants of Radha and Krishna. So this is the ultimate perfection. Srila Jayapataka Swami Maharaj ki Jai. As Sarvabhauma looked on with astonishment, Lord Chaitanya continued. This point is made. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Mayavada bhashya shunilo hoilo sarvanash. यदि कोई व्यक्ति मायावाद का भाष्य सुनता है तो उसका विनाश होना निश्चित है, उसका सर्वनाश होना निश्चित है, इसमें कोई दोहराई नहीं है. यदि कोई, if someone associates with a Mayavadi, then naturally he will be doomed. Mahaprabhu continued, the Supreme Lord has three potencies, that is Shaktis, namely Tathastha Shakti, which is marginal potency, that constitutes the living entities, jivas, fragmental parts of the Lord. They can live either in material or spiritual worlds. यानी जीव शक्ति, जैसे हम सब है, ये है मार्जिनल या तटस्थ। तटस्थ मीन्स तट, in between, not this side, not that side. You have ocean, you have shore, but in between ocean and shore, whatever is there, that is tata. So we are the Jeev Shakti, Tatastha Shakti. Then we have external, that is Bahiranga Shakti, which is material and makes the Jiva forgetful, godless, attached to fruitive activities, karma kanda, and thus suffer threefold miseries in different material forms due to his rebellious attitude towards the Lord. External, Bahiranga Shakti, यानी Maya Devi or Avidya. And then is Antaranga, internal potency, also called as Chit Shakti, which is spiritual and has three portions. So internal energy of the Lord, Antaranga. Now this is very little technical, but we can just hold on. Antaranga Shakti has three more classifications in the form of Sat, Chit, and Ananda. Sat means eternal. Chit means you have knowledge, and then you have Ananda, which means happiness or bliss. The Lord Ishvara is Mayadhisha, the master of all potencies, and the Jiva is Maya Vasha, the servant of the Lord's potencies. We see when Shukadev Goswami was there in the womb, for nearly 16 years he didn't come out. अंदर ही बैठे थे. तो उनके जो पिताजी है व्यासदेव, वो बोले कि बच्चा बाहर आ जाओ. तो शुकदेव गोस्वामी अंदर से बोले मैं नहीं आऊंगा. सो व्यासदेव सेड योर मदर इज हैविंग प्रॉब्लम, माता को कष्ट हो रहा है, 16 साल के हो गए, बाहर आ जाओ. Imagine if some child is there inside the womb for 16 years. It's 9 months itself is considered very, very difficult for the mother. Mm. The men probably may not understand it, but uh, it is explained that the pain of giving birth to a child is very, very painful. Mm. The only pain, in fact, I was reading one article where it was mentioning different activities and how much pain it resonates to. And it was saying that giving birth to a child ranks second on the list. Like if the threshold of pain a human body can experience, बच्चा देने बच्चा जन्म करने का जो पीड़ा होता है, the pain that is there, कष्ट होता है, it is considered second on the list in comparison to all other pains. And the highest or the first, which is most painful, is being burnt alive. Many people sometimes we see they're burnt alive. That is considered the most painful form the human body can experience. But second on the list is giving birth to a child. So when Shukadev Goswami was there inside, he was saying, हम नहीं आएंगे. तो पिताजी बोले, अरे नहीं नहीं, माता जी को बहुत कष्ट हो रहा है, 16 साल हो गया, आप कृपया करके बाहर आ जाइए. So Shukadev Goswami from inside, he said, no, Maya is so powerful. If I come outside, it's possible I may be conquered by Maya. यहाँ एकदम सुख है. यहाँ there is no Maya. There is no social media, no Facebook, none of these things that can attract or lure me. So here I'm happy. Vyasadeva said, don't worry. Krishna will protect you. So Shukadev Goswami from inside said, how will he protect me? Vyasadeva said, because Krishna is Mayadhisha. Mayadhisha. He who can control Maya. One name of Krishna is Mayadhisha. So same point here Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying. The Lord is Mayadhisha, the master of all potencies. He who can control Maya Devi. And we are Maya Vasha. हम माया के वश में आ जाते हैं. हमारे लिए बहुत आसान है माया के वश में आना. हम वश वश में क्या, हम स्वयं में आ जाते हैं माया देवी के पास. हम ऐसे कार्य कर लेते हैं कि माया में पड़ ही जाते हैं. The transcendental form Shri Vigraha of the Supreme Lord is completely in eternity, cognizance, and bliss. Sachitananda. Yet you describe his form to be a product of material goodness. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu अब दोष बता रहे हैं सार्वभौम भट्टाचार्य की कथा में कि ये आपके दोष थे, ये अपने गलत तरीके से समझाया. Therefore, Lord Chaitanya described the defects in Shankaracharya's Mayavad philosophy. Srila Vyasadeva presented the Vedanta philosophy for the deliverance of conditioned souls. But if one hears Shankaracharya's Shariraka Bhashya that denies the divine form of the Lord and is opposed to the principles of bhakti, everything is doomed. Vyasadev's Parinam Vada, that is theory of transformation, Parinam Vada. Theory of transformation establishes the cosmos is a transformation of the Lord's inconceivable potency, Achinta Shakti. Now, this is little technical discussion. Just hold on because Mahaprabhu's discussion with Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, with Prakashananda Saraswati is technical. So, we will just continue reading through. Shankaracharya's Vivartavad, theory of illusion, says that although the absolute truth is never transformed, we think that it is transformed, which is an illusion. That is, the individual identities of the living entities and the material world are all illusion. The theory of illusion can be applied only when the living entities identify themselves with the body. But the cosmic manifestation cannot be called false, although it is certainly temporary. So, this discussion is also an illusion for us. We are not understanding anything. It just simply goes over the head. So, one time, Srila Bhakti Vikas Swami Maharaj, who was Ilapati Das back then, he went to Prabhupada and said, Prabhupada, whatever the Mayavadis are saying, I am not able to understand anything. Prabhupada said, good, it is not worth understanding. ये समझने का लायक भी है नहीं. It is good that you are not understanding, Bhakti Vikas Maharaj says. Just as a touchstone transforms iron into gold and yet remains unchanged, the Lord remains unchanged although he causes many transformations through his energy. Lord Chaitanya then describes the essence of the scripture in three subjects. Sambandha, Abhideya, and Prayojan. Sambandha is our relationship with the Lord, Abhideya is the process, and Prayojan is the goal. Krishna Sambandha, Bhakti Abhideya, Prema Prayojan. संबंध किनके साथ जोड़ना है? कृष्ण के साथ. मार्ग क्या है संबंध जोड़ने के लिए? भक्ति. और हमारा गणतव्य स्थान क्या है? प्रयोजन क्या है? प्रेम, कृष्ण प्रेम. So, Krishna Sambandha, Bhakti, Abhideya, Prema Prayojan. Mahaprabhu explains these three things. Sarvabhauma was astonished upon hearing this. Lord Chaitanya then explained the popular Atmaram verse from the Srimad Bhagavatam in 18 different ways. The verse essentially meant even the self-realized and detached souls are attracted to the loving devotional service bhakti of Krishna, being attracted by his transcendental qualities and wonderful activities. Lord Chaitanya gave evidence to Shukadev Goswami and the four liberated rishis, Sanak Sanatan, Sanat Kumar, and Sanandana, who were attracted to Krishna. तो यहाँ हम देखते हैं कि सार्वभौम भट्टाचार्य को चैतन्य महाप्रभु आत्माराम भागवत में एक श्लोक आता है आत्मारामश्च मुनयो. सो सार्वभौम भट्टाचार्य Mahaprabhu is telling Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya and explaining to him this verse in 18 different ways. अब आगे चलकर एक सेक्शन आता है मध्य लीला में. I am just saying it now so that we have a reference. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu meets Sanatan Goswami, जब गौरांग महाप्रभु सनातन गोस्वामी से मिलते हैं वाराणसी में और 2 महीने के लिए वार्तालाप करते हैं. रूप गोस्वामी के साथ 10 दिन के लिए होता है और सनातन गोस्वामी के लिए 60 दिन 60 days. तो वहां जब चैतन्य महाप्रभु सनातन गोस्वामी बात करते हैं एक समय ऐसा आता है सनातन गोस्वामी चैतन्य महाप्रभु से पूछते हैं कि महाप्रभु मैं सुना हूं कि आप सार्वभौम भट्टाचार्य को आत्माराम श्लोक पर 18 अलग तरीके से 18 अलग प्रकार से एक्सप्लेन किए. आई हैव हर्ड दैट यू एक्सप्लेन आत्माराम वर्स इन 18 डिफरेंट वेज टू सार्वभौम भट्टाचार्य, बट कैन यू प्लीज एक्सप्लेन दैट टू मी ऑल्सो? आई हैव हर्ड यू हैव डन इट, कैन यू प्लीज डू इट टू मी ऑल्सो? तो चैतन्य महाप्रभु he agrees. And to Sanatan Goswami, he explains that verse in not 18 ways, not 25 ways, not 30 ways, not 40 ways, not 50 ways. In 61 different ways, Mahaprabhu explains that same verse of Atmaramaste Muni to Sanatan Goswami. तो आगे चलकर आएगा जब सनातन शिक्षा हम बात करेंगे. That same verse in 61 ways Mahaprabhu explains. एक श्लोक करीब 60 अलग प्रकार से हम सोच भी नहीं सकते है ना. एक तरीके से इफ जस्ट वन वे दैट इटसेल्फ विल बी टू मच फॉर अस. 61 ways Mahaprabhu explained, and here for Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya in 18 different ways. Atmaramasta Muni verse. This is a Bhagavatam verse that comes. Sarvabhauma condemned himself and was struck with wonder. Lord Chaitanya is certainly Lord Krishna himself. Not knowing who he was, I have proudly committed many offenses. When Sarvabhauma thus took shelter of the Lord allowed him to see his four-handed Vishnu form and then his original form as Krishna. Sarvabhauma fell flat to offer obeisances. Then he stood up and with folded hands began to offer prayers. All truths were revealed to Sarvabhauma by the Lord's mercy, and he could understand the importance of chanting Krishna Nam and distributing Krishna Prem. He composed 100 verses in short time. The Lord happily embraced Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, who was overwhelmed in ecstatic love for Krishna Prem. That personality who at one point did not even accept that the Lord has form, now by being in the presence of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu accepts that Lord is not Nirakar but Lord is having a form and is now jumping and dancing in Krishna Prem just by the association of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. The Lord happily embraced Sarvabhauma, who was overwhelmed in ecstatic love of Krishna Prem. He danced, chanted, cried, and fell to touch the Lord's lotus feet. Gopinath Acharya was very pleased, and the associates of Lord Chaitanya all laughed to see Sarvabhauma's dance because they had never seen a Mayavad dancing because they don't do it. Even when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would dance, they would ask Mahaprabhu, "Why are you dancing?" In Prakashananda Saraswati's episode, we will see when Mahaprabhu goes to them, they ask, "Why are you dancing? It is not meant for people like us. Sannyasis like us should not chant and dance like this." And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, "I don't know to do anything else. My Guru Maharaj asked me to chant and dance, and that is the only thing I'm following. I'm not qualified for anything else." So here we see normally Mayavadis don't do that. But Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya is jumping up and dancing and dancing and dancing and chanting the names of Krishna with tears just flowing from his eyes. Lord Chaitanya pacified Sarvabhauma, who then offered many prayers to the Lord. Your delivering the entire world is not a great task, but delivering me is certainly a wonderful power. अब जगत का उद्धार कर रहे हैं, इसमें बहुत बड़ी बात नहीं है. Dear devotees, humble request to not share anything at this point. If you're there in the call, let us just be attentive and let us not just disturb the whole discussion. Mahaprabhu is telling Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya that, my dear Lord, आप जगत का उद्धार कर रहे हैं इस ये तो अच्छी बात है लेकिन what is more superior to that is you have delivered me. You have come down and you have come here practically primarily to deliver me. My dear Lord, this is very glorious. Thank you. I had become dull-headed due to reading too many books on logic and became like an iron bar. Yet you melted me. He says, I became like an iron bar, very hard-hearted, stone-like. But still, my dear Lord, you came here and you personally sat down to have a conversation. You heard 7 days from me, and then you were ready to uplift me, my dear Lord. Thank you very much. So, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is very kind, and Mahaprabhu's mood we find Mahaprabhu's present in Navadvip, Mahaprabhu's present in Jagannath Puri, Mahaprabhu goes to Godavari to meet Ramananda Rai, hmm, and Mahaprabhu goes to different places. But primarily we see that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is having different moods. In the land of Navadvip, we see all that is there in Vrindavan is seen in Navadvip also. All the different forests that are there, Kumudvan, Bahulavan, Belvan, Bhantirvan, Kokhilavan, Vrindavan, all these forests that are there, and not just forests, but sub-forest also. All of these are seen in Navadvip. This is why Navadvip is also called as Gupta Vrindavan, a hidden form of Vrindavan. But this is not present in Jagannath Puri. Jagannath Puri does not have the forests of Vrindavan. It does not even have the sub-forests of Vrindavan. So Navadvip is very glorious because it is very closely connected to Sri Vrindavan Dham. We see that in Navadvip we have Panchaveni. Normally in Prayag we have Triveni, where Ganga, Jamuna, and Saraswati meet. And in Navadvip we have Panchaveni, where Ganga, Yamuna, Saraswati, Alaknanda, uh, Narmada, and actually more rivers, Brahmaputra, Kaveri, etc. All of them meet in Navadvip Panchaveni. But this is not present in Jagannath Puri. Mahaprabhu spent time in Jagannath Puri, but in the Gambhira, when Mahaprabhu would be so ecstatic, it is only his three and a half associates who could taste it in the form of Ramananda Rai, Swarup Damodar, Shiki Mahiti, and Shiki Mahiti's sisters. Only three and a half associates could taste it. But when the Lord was in Navadvip, his pastimes are Lokik Sadbandhuvat Vichar, human-like pastimes. They are more Madhuryamai. The way we can understand a place is superior is how much the Lord has performed Madhuriyamai pastimes. And in Navadvip, the pastimes are human-like. He plays in Ganga, he sports in the waters of Ganga, he dances at Angan, which is not different from the Rasa dance. The pastimes are more Madhuryamai. In Vrindavan, Krishna has Ashtakaliya Leela, where he performs pastimes eightfold from morning till night. That same Ashtakaliya Leela is not present in Jagannath Puri, but is present in Navadvip. Navadvip has Gauranga Mahaprabhu's Ashtakali Leela. The same Ashtakali Leela that Krishna performs in the land of Vrindavan Dham, that same Ashtakali Leela is present in Navadvip. So Navadvip connects very, very close to Sri Vrindavan Dham as far as heart and mood is concerned. And this is the place where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu eternally resides, the land of Shvetadvip, Navadvip. The eternal world, just like we have Golok Vrindavan, we have Shvetadvip, Navadvip, where Sachidananda Gauranga Mahaprabhu is eternally performing his pastimes. So in this way, we find Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is uplifting Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya from his Mayavad conception. Oftentimes now also we find many people say, "Arey, Bhagwan nahi hai, Bhagwan Nirakar hai. The Lord has no form. The Lord doesn't play the flute or whatever it is." And we see the same thing was there even 500 years back. But Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu very nicely explained the philosophy and converted Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya into a proper devotee who's now chanting and dancing in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mission. Early next morning, Lord Chaitanya went to Jagannath temple and brought some prasad to the house of Sarvabhauma a little before sunrise. Sarvabhauma just rose from the bed and chanted, Krishna, Krishna. Lord Chaitanya gave him prasad. Sarvabhauma immediately ate it without even washing his mouth or bathing and recited two verses describing the divine nature of prasad, food offered to the Lord. Lord Chaitanya was so pleased to see this transformation in him. From that day onwards, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya was free of his false pride. He did not know anything but the lotus feet of Lord Chaitanya and explained the scriptures only from the bhakti perspective. Seeing him firmly fixed in Vaishnavism, Gopinath Acharya danced, clapped, and chanted Hari Hari. In this way, we see the transformation of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, where now he is chanting the names of the Supreme Lord. Having said this, dear devotees, we end here to continue our discussion tomorrow. Thank you very much for